So what we're going to do, Pete, is we're going to cut the existing blockwork, which is here. So what we're going to cut it at this level. The reason we're cutting it at this level is because the top of the wall plate is going to come flush with this, you see, because that's the datum for the trusses to sit on, okay? So what the gauge from here to here works that we've got to put a cut in here, slip. I don't want to put that slip high underneath the wall plate, so what we're going to do is put the slip in at this point, and then put a full block in, and then we can then put the 4x3 wall plate across there, and then the same over that side, the existing side, and that means then the new wall plate then will run from the outer leaf here, run all the way through like this, over to there, and it just means it'll be absolutely solid then, it'll be all constant, won't it? Because the thing is that what we're going to do is cut some of this, leave this joist in. We're then going to cut that timber, fold back the felt or whatever we've got to do to make it work, and then the lads then can run that block work.
Right, so we're cutting from this side back and then peeling the roof back from the top.
Yeah, that's just to keep it watertight for now until the trusses arrive, because once the trusses arrive, or we get given a date for the trusses to arrive, we'll have to end up then stripping all this out.
Okay, no worries.
So the decision is do we strip it out now? Do we wait until the trusses arrive? You know,
we've got good weather at the moment, but obviously we don't know what it's going to be like in the next.
It's going to rain, you know.
So I mean, it's a free covering at the moment.
Yeah, it is a free covering, and the way I look at it, the best thing to do is wait until the trusses the day before. It will take us a day to strip this, won't it, between us? It's then ready to rock and roll. It will take us half a day to prep all the ends there, get them ready for the girder truss then to go in, job done. That'd be a make this.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Sorry.
No, Jesus.
Can't get it started now, right?
I love the way we've had this role reversal, though, you know what I mean? Usually it's me and
Didn't realise it did that, Pete.
You've only had them 3 years, haven't you?
I had 3 years, I didn't know it did that.
No.
Learn some yesterday, don't we? That's lovely, that, Pete.
You're right, Jim?
Yeah, that's beautiful, mate. The reason we put the back on, guys, it just helps that blade keep it stable instead of drifting. But then we need to use a hanger that's going to hold this and that, don't we, mate?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be 4 inches, isn't it? So the jiffy's got to be 4 inches wide, so we'll cut all that nice and neatly, all on the same line.
So it's going to be seat cut and plumb cut to sort of take the two of them.
But obviously we're going to make sure these are cock on here.
Yeah.
If they're not, we're going to trim them to suit. But then everything else will be aligned, and the trusses then will just come up, and it'll be a girder truss that takes the weight of this roof and the weight of this ceiling joist here, mate. It'll be like 3 laminations of the trusses. Hey, so good morning guys. We're back on site. It's Tuesday. We've got actually a new lad with us, James. There you go, there's James. Morning James. So James is with us for hopefully 4 or 5 weeks, is it? So James is working for the NHS, is it? Warwick Hospital, there you go. And you work in the maintenance department, and he's in his last year, I seem to believe, aren't you, James? And he just needs some more practical photographs, and he hadn't done much flat roofs and then obviously pitched roofs. So he did it the old school way and actually wrote me a letter, and I was just like really touched, and I thought this is a guy who wants to obviously push his career and obviously understand and learn things, and I think that's really cool, and take my hat off to him and admire him for doing that. And I literally reached back out to him and said, yeah, come along, come and see us. We've got a roof going on, flat roof going on, so we can give you loads of practical experience. So he's going to come on the journey. We're really pleased to have him with us for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So watch this space, and James is going to jump on and smash it with us. So anyway, see you later guys. Making it nice and safe. The G-decking's up quite high, and the one thing I want to do is give it a lot of support on this movement this way. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to level up the stone just here. It means I can bring some G-decking out, and then obviously that'll stop any wave coming this way, just make it a lot more stable. I can then return it onto the side, and then I can crack on and get on with my job. Got a lot to do this week. Now the trusses have been ordered. They're going to take about a week and a half for neating trusses. Now if you haven't watched that video of how to make trusses, see the link above. That will actually take you to how they make them. Absolutely brilliant. Really amazed how much they do. How many trusses they produce in a week is phenomenal. I love my G-decking, yeah I do. I really do like my G-decking. Even James likes the G-decking, except for this one bit of handrail. Yes, that's it buddy. So I'll be able to stand there to there. That's looking good. Feel a lot safer. It's got some sway in it, but once I return it there, lock it off, get that one in, and then lock that off, be a lot happier. The reason I've moved that out just one more rung is just I like to be able to hold a ladder as I'm getting off it like that, instead of coming down here. That's a lot better than this now. Can I have another upright here? Because what I'm going to try and do is just get this a bit more. This is what I don't understand. Why didn't G-decking, so my G-decking, I love G-decking, but why didn't G-decking just extend that down to go into a pole here, or extend it so it can latch into here, just to give this, look, stop that wobbling. So what I'm going to do to stop that is I'm going to try and latch something into here, strap it on, put another upright. What we're doing at the moment is we're just lifting the G-decking this side because I want it to level up. If anything, I want it to slightly kick into the build, just give it a little bit more stability. That's why we lifted that leg up, get it pushed up a bit more. It'll force it into the building, which is really what I'm after. That's it, get it. That's it. There you go. Lovely. Just helps protect the pipe, doesn't it? There you go. Lovely, mate. Thank you, buddy. And then can I have a 750, please, mate? 750. Wet cutting with these blocks, if you leave it on your legs, if you've got shorts on, it burns your legs. So what I've got James doing, James is going to start cutting the wall plate for there, cut the wall plate for there. That's going to be A wall plate, B wall plate, because not too short. One thing we've noticed, because of the way the truss is going to line up here, we need to then do a little bit of breaking out just down here like that. So what we're going to do, you can see these joists aren't fixed at the moment, they've got a lot of movement like that. So what we'll do is just put a couple of screws through this plank here, and then we can then put some of the timbers down here, just so we've got something to walk on. Hold on, so is this a Milwaukee tape? Oh my God, so look at this. So James, he's gone to the red side. So Pete's on the yellow side, James is on the red side, I'm on the like kind of greeny grey sort of colour, Festool. So this is Milwaukee. Now Milwaukee, I've got to say, they've massively changed their game in the last 2 years. They have absolutely put so much investment in coming into the UK, and some of their kit is actually really, really good, I've got to say. Definitely. How do you find all your Milwaukee stuff, mate?
Tools wise good, the tapes bend a little bit there.
Do they?
I find the ends bend, yeah.
A bit too flexy?
Yeah.
Feels a bit too flexy, yeah.
But apart from that, all good.
Apart from that, all good.
Yeah.
As we explained earlier, James is in his last year of apprenticeship, and the Festool, he's never used a Festool, so I'm going to give him a bit of a quick run through on the Festool. Basically here, James, that's the lock off here, which stops the bed from sliding, so always undo that there, okay? And then that allows them to move. And then the other one is, it's got a lock off here underneath. You see it there, that pin? Yeah. So basically, when you put the Festool away every night, you'll always end up locking it right into that position, mate, and just locking it off, okay, mate? So when you unpack it like that, I then just take this out of there like that, and then undo that. And that's it, she's ready to go, mate, okay? And obviously, whenever you're cutting timber, always draw that way in like that, okay? Never draw that way, okay? Always that way in, okay? The other thing is that what we're now doing is putting wall plates on. So wall plates, in my day, 99% of the time was always 4x3. Okay, mate, so this here, buddy, this is beautiful 4x3. Now, I picked out some really nice straight lengths. So what we'll do is, what I always do is I look down at James, and you can see it's got a little bit of a bow in. So what I'll do, because the bow's that end, I'd end up cutting out the waist that end to try and get as much of the bow out as I could, mate, okay? So I'll let you have a look, cast your eye down there. So you can see what I mean? You can see that bit of a bow. So what I'll do, because this is quite straight here, I'll then cut that to suit, mate, okay? There's also a little dolly that goes here that you can adjust up and down, which is in the back shed there, which we'll get in a minute for ourselves, okay, mate? So if you throw that on. The other thing is, what you'll find, James, is that truss companies now, they don't send out 4x3 unless you specify it. They'll always send out 4x2. Don't know why that is, they just do, probably because of all the clips they use. But I always, when I'm building, try and always use a 4x3 wall plate, because it's always better, mate, okay? Because then the brick, you can then bed that on, you can then put the straps on, get it anchored in. I suppose 4x2 really could do it, it's just that I've always been taught this way from day dit, okay? But you'll notice a lot of truss companies, when they do send it out, it's going to be 4x2. Okay, there we go. There you go, same again there. If you have a look down that, James, you can see it's got a little bit of a camber to it, hasn't it? So what you'll do, you'll measure this end, because that's where the camber is up there. Chop that out, mate, okay, all right. I think these are about 4.8s, something like that, but it will help if you get the dolly, the little adjustable, because then it'll level it all up for your bed instead of trying to hold it, mate. So the timber that we've got is, let's lift that timber up there, James. That's it, just stack it on there. Now just have a look in inches. What is that, Pete? 9B? Or it's just under 9, I bet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just under 9, so you got 8.5.
8.5. So basically, if we can go to, so 8.5 at the moment, so we can process 4 bits out of this, can't we?
Well, to be fair, because you've got the fall and then the camber, they're all going to be different, aren't they?
Yeah, but in essence we can get 4 pieces out. Yeah. So because it's an 8, even though it's not a true, as I would say, true, the old school 9-inch, it's actually classed as 9-inch because it's classed as 215. It normally should be about 220, shouldn't it, mate?
Yeah,
but it's shy, isn't it?
But that's old money though, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically, but what we have found out we can process 4 bits of timber out of this 1 piece of timber in the furring strips that we want. So if we then go to the measure that we're having 1 in 40 then, Pete, so basically the length that you got first, so the length determines everything, doesn't it? So what have you got all told, Pete, there? That's a nice new tape you got there, Pete.
Yeah, you bought it. If you go 1 in 60, that's 4 1 in 40s, isn't it? So
yeah, it is, yeah. So James, come and have a look at this, mate.
So 4 inches, look. And all we'll do is we'll ping the line, and wherever it ends up, and we can sort of see where we are with it, and can't we?
Okay.
This is like watching an old man.
There you go. There you go. So James, what we've done, well, what Pete's done is a really quick, clever way. We're looking to get a fall of 1 in 40, aren't we? Okay. So what Pete's done, 40, so you got 40, 80, 120, 160. So Pete's just measured from this end here, 160 inches. Okay, that means every 40 inches is coming this way, we're stepping up an inch. Okay, so 4 times 1 inch is 4 inches. And that's why it's then measured up from that point there to that point at the 160 mark, 160 inch mark, is then measured up 4 inches. Now obviously that's the guideline where we've got the chalk line now. If we then cast it through to here, you can actually see it's past halfway, you see it?
So if we do what you say.
Don't forget you've got the thickness of the blade and everything else, haven't we? So if anything, we probably need to tweak it a little bit less, don't we?
So if we go, so should we try 1 in 45? And if that don't work, we'll try 1 in 50.
Yeah. Do you see what we're doing? Do you understand the process? Right, now what you're gonna do is we're now gonna ask you to set this out, okay? So now we're gonna go to 1 in 45. Okay, so basically, if you multiply what Pete just did then,
it's 4 times 45, so 45, 90, 135 and 190. Yeah. So you're going to measure 190 and then come up 4 inches. We're going to cast a line and then we're going to see if we get to the halfway point, so we see how this is. This is just basic, we're not going to ping the line, because this is about working out the best and most efficient way how to machine the timber, because it's a combination between the best fall and being cost effective, because obviously the price of timber's gone through the roof, so it's just one thing you've got to consider. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, mate. So if you do that, then you've got your own tape, haven't you?
Your own tape, well done.
So okay, mate. So let's get the string line out of the way. So if you do, if you just that's it, you'll wrap it up. So okay, now if you now measure 1. So basically 4 times 45. What's that, buddy?
180.
Okay, so move to 180 then. That's it. Now you can see the difference in distance there, can't you, straight away? From the 1 in 40 to the 1 in 45. So now basically, okay, so you now measure from that edge how many inches?
4.
That's it, mate, lovely, that's it. Beautiful, so basically now that's going to be our strike line as we put that string through there again, mate, isn't it? Okay, all right, so let's do that again, see what we're getting up with. Oh, I liking that.
Yeah, no, but you've got to do it. No, just put your thumb on it. Put your
you keep your thumb out there.
No, pull it out. There you go.
See, look, sophisticated.
Yeah,
so now run on that line there, you see. What I'm going to do is so I can bring it, grab that. That's it, pull it over. There you go. Now you can see with the processing, we've got plenty to play with, haven't we? Look.
Yeah, we've got.
Yeah, 4 1/4. So by the time we process it, it means we'll actually get 4 out of this, won't we? Because don't forget, you're going to go from nothing, then straight line all the way down. So that's 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So basically, we'll get 4 timbers out of 1 timber. That's why it's always good to check what you're doing. I'm happy with the 1 in 45 fall. The water's going to fly down there anyway, but it just means it's just like 1 timber, not wasting it. So as Pete says earlier, timber's expensive now. So what we'll do now, we'll start processing that in the full length like that. So what will happen is that you'll do your marker like you've done, ping it, job done. So what we'll do is have 1 fence then set. So it just comes this measurement here. So you can imagine, so 1 person will cut this line here now. The next person will then cut the nice straight line with the big saw all the way through, screw it down the timber so it can't move as you're processing it, yeah? This person then will carry on cutting this angle. Once that person's processed that one here, you'll then kick it back to this guy here. He'll then ping that last one. That'll be it, okay?
Okay.
All right, everything starts with this roof, mate. The reason it all starts with this roof is because the water that's coming off this roof is falling onto this roof here, mate, okay?
Because they're going to be some pretty good bits of timber.
Exactly that, because obviously what we've got to do is where we've gone to nothing here, Pete, don't forget, because we're trying to create a camber of the wall, this roof here falling this way, as we put that first furring strip in, we're going to have to cut in a certain amount of timber off the end there, aren't we?
So we're going to go up to that point 1 inch, and then the first one is going to be the nothing point there.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Exactly that, mate. Yeah.
And then whatever the infill is, we can just machine that freehand.
Exactly that, mate. Yeah.
Okay, and also we're going to create a camber going down this way.
Yeah.
And then
to that corner there. Exactly that, mate. Yeah. Exactly that. As long as whatever the furrings are here, if we just do exactly the same then, coming that way, we know the water's just going to track along the edge.
Obviously it's going to get shorter as we go to the connection point, but that don't matter because we can just machine them up freehand.
Yeah, it just means the water's just going to fall to the corner, to that corner there.
That'll work nicely because it's quite nice when you can do that point and a bit of timber in it.
Yeah, it is, mate, yeah.
Lovely.
So the first thing, James, is because we've got a flat roof coming in here and a flat roof on this section here, the first thing you've got to do is determine where your outlets are going to go. So we've got an outlet coming in here, outlet coming in here, and then we've got an outlet here, okay? So basically what I've then said, right, I've got an outlet with there, and there and there. I've got to make sure the water then trails that way. Yeah, it distributes, that's it. And then the thing is that if you can imagine, because this fall from there to there, it's bleeding onto this roof, isn't it?
That one?
Yeah, that's it, exactly that. So it's really key that to understand the falls that I need here, I need to get these furring strips in first here, don't I? Yeah. Because once that furring strip's in there, that then sets the precedence then for every furring strip that we put in here, doesn't it? Okay. To allow us to get the fall for the water to come here onto this flat roof, okay? And it's the same with that, but also what you've got to remember is that we want the water to end up in here. We don't want all of these furring strips running through all of the same. What will happen is that the furring strips will be higher here and then they'll get smaller in decreasing, but the actual flow of the water will go down that way. Okay. And it's the same with this. All the water, all these furring strips will get smaller and smaller as the increments come down. That means the water then will come to this corner here. Okay. You understand? You wouldn't do all these furring strips all the same way. Only time you do that is if you then have a trough in here. And I don't like doing troughs, they become weak points. So that's why I always then balance my furring strips to make sure they decrease in size, but then they end up in this corner, so all the water just comes in here. Okay, mate. Yeah. All right, does that make sense now? Yeah. But that's why it's really key to find out your outlets first, then work out how your water's then going to come off that roof. Yeah. And that's why it's important that we have to start with this roof here. That's why I was quite happy to load out these blocks, because we've got to do all the work here first, do the work there. By that time, Alex will be out of the way. We can then strip the G-decking down, and then we can carry on. Okay, mate. All right. How's it looking, Pete?
Yeah, it's alright. Just got to get this 3mm gap empty first.
Use a coin. Do you want a coin? 2p coin.
I'll join as I kid, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah, I like it. The P.I.
That's it. So yeah, we'll get this all short line pinged up. But the fall's fantastic though.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good. You know, you're not going to get no sitting water.
Lovely. That's beautiful. Pete does it again with James.
That's it.